Hello everybody, welcome back to the Blind Press Twitch channel. I hope you guys are having a good Wednesday evening and are ready to sit and have a chat with me. We are going to just hang out and watch some videos, read an article or two, and have a good time. So yeah, that's our plan for this evening. Like I said, just hanging out here. It's been a nice day. It was very, very warm, but it was a good day. Nice day. The last day of school tomorrow for my kiddos. So the summer is about to happen. It's a Spittlebuggies. Hello, Spittlebuggies.
Drink. Margarita.
Oh, thank you.
Just move the mouse.
Margarita. Okay. So, hello, Spittlebuggies. Hello, everybody. Oh, I got a new follower, Jericho528. Thank you for following. Welcome and hello. So, I think, and you said everything was shared already, right? Or do I need to share the screen? I think I need to share the screen still. Wildfire smoke affecting Black and poor U.S. community. Okay. Apparently the wildfire smoke is only affecting poor and Black people in the States. Okay. That's a new one. Let's discover how that works. Let's learn together how on earth that works.
Isn't it more fun when I find the random shit?
So do I need to share the screen or?
It's all ever. I said you don't have to do anything.
Okay.
I already said that.
Okay. So I will just hit the cancel button. Okay. Everything is fine. Okay, so we're gonna. Oh boy. Okay. Let's. What?
Just curious, what'd you break?
Nothing. Why are you looking? Did it break anything?
Nope, just make sure.
Well,
I can't find my phone, so I can't look. I have to look at your screen.
Oh.
So yeah, have fun.
Okay. Okay, so let's go to the content of this interesting piece of work and discover.
And the funnier part is, I haven't really smelled the smoke at all. Like, people are like, everything's so impactful. I haven't smelled shit.
Really?
No.
I have.
Is it faint?
No.
I smell shit.
Okay. How? Like, yesterday when I was telling you, like, it smelled like burning plastic.
That was because there was people burning plastic just outside of town. And just outside of town, at the where that car lot was, they were burning a whole bunch of debris and shit, including plastics.
And then today, I could smell.
Today you could see it a little bit, but it was weird because of the mist. Like when I was driving back into town.
Yeah.
Like it looked. I couldn't figure out. I was trying to decipher because it was like 12 degrees, right? So I was trying to figure out if it was smoke or if it was haze. It kind of hung around for most of the day, so I was like, okay, smoke. But it wasn't as bad as a couple weeks ago. That's why I don't get what these people are all talking about.
Oh, it's a video clip.
It's the news.
It's not an article. It's a video clip.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's CTV.
So, yeah, okay, so this is... Wait.
Keep going.
I can't figure this out.
Okay, okay.
Where there's a playlist of videos.
And then keep going. It says you're not at the main body yet.
God damn.
Yeah, CTV screwed up their site. Okay.
Wow.
That was it right there. Detroit.
Okay.
That's the beginning line.
That is ridiculous. The amount of clutter on that website.
I still love how it's like it affects poor people and black people.
In a different country.
Yeah. I guess America is. I guess the U.S. is a third world now.
No, this is what I mean. Do you remember earlier when I was saying that there was a book that I would read the kids that's about American Thanksgiving, and it starts the whole book starts by saying in November the world is preparing for winter.
Yes.
It's like no, dears. It's just the freaking northern hemisphere.
Really, everything north of Cancer.
It's
okay. Yeah, I'm going down to my shop.
Oh, okay. So Detroit, smoky air from Canada's wildfires shrouded broad swaths of the U.S. from Minnesota to New York and Kentucky on Wednesday, prompting warnings to stay inside and exacerbating health risks for people already suffering from industrial pollution. You mean like all of the citizens of China and India and Singapore and... Huh? Yeah. Like, the impacts are particularly hard on poor and minority communities that are more likely to live near polluting plants. Polluting plants?
The more money you have, the more your lungs expand and you can breathe more, apparently.
What's a polluting plant?
A polluting plant? Any of the manufacturing facilities that give off massive amounts of exhaust or smokestacks.
They're literally making it sound like there are factories that make pollution. That's sole purpose.
It's welcome to the smoggies.
Anyway. And they're higher... Okay, wait. Poor people are more likely to have higher rates of asthma? Detroit, a mostly black city with a poverty rate of about 30%, had some of the worst air quality in the U.S. on Wednesday, prompting the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, to warn everyone should stay indoors. Okay. Well, Toronto was given the world's worst air quality by the World Air Quality Index. So, again, and let me tell you, there's a lot of minorities in Toronto. Okay? So, are you saying that Detroit is... I don't even want to... Why are we comparing? Why are we... Oh, these people have it so much worse. You know who's got it the worst? The people that are, oh, I don't know, in the vicinity of the actual fire. How about that? Are we talking about those people? Like the firefighters and the people that live up there in the small, like, villages and shit? Nah, fuck them. No.
9/11 first responders.
No, screw all those people. It's all the people thousands of miles away that are so very affected. Anyway. By blind press, the air currents in the atmosphere. Yeah, I'm aware of wind. Okay? Are you aware of dissipation? Seriously. The more breaths you're taking, you're inhaling literally a fire. What? No, you're... Let's start that gem of a sentence over again, shall we? The more breaths you're taking, you're inhaling literally a fire. Cap smoke into your lungs, said Darren Riley, who was diagnosed with asthma in 2018, a few years after arriving in Detroit. Oh yes, it was your arrival in Detroit that gave you your asthma. It couldn't have possibly been that you just weren't diagnosed until you happened to get a doctor or see some, like... Did you have breathing trouble before you moved to Detroit? And let me tell you this, okay? Just because you're diagnosed with asthma does not make you a bronchial expert, okay? Judging by the phrase, you're inhaling literally a fire. 'Cause no, you're not. Many communities face this way too often, said Riley, who is black, and while the wildfire smoke allows, unfortunately, many people to feel this burden, this is a burden that far too long communities have faced day in and day out. Look, folks, a professional victim. This is why people in minority groups are saying these stupid things, because they have been taught for the past 30 years or more that they are the victims. That they have the same trauma and victim points and victimhood as their ancestors, as their grandparents. And I guarantee you that their grandparents faced even the most minor, let alone the most major of indignities, with a lot more grace and dignity than people are showing today. The EPA's airnow.gov site showed cities including Chicago, Detroit, Indianapolis, and Cleveland, Ohio, have very unhealthy air as of Wednesday afternoon. A wider circle of unhealthy air spread into Pittsburgh, St. Louis, and Louisville, Kentucky. Unhealthy air? Are we back in the days of the Black Death? It's a miasma. It's the vapors. Don't let the vapors get you. Earlier this month, smoke from the wildfires blanketed the U.S. East Coast for days. Another round of drifting smoke from the wildfires was moving through western Pennsylvania and New York and heading toward the mid-Atlantic, said National Weather Service meteorologist Byron Jackson. In Canada, smoke will migrate across Canada and Ontario over the next few days, Environment and Climate Change Canada meteorologist Stephen Thutter said. In the U.S., the smoke is exacerbating air quality issues for poor and black communities that are already more likely to live near polluting plants and in rental housing with mold and other triggers. Yep, because there's no poor white people, and the poor white people also get better crappy houses without mold. I've definitely never had to live in a house with mold in it, ever. Nope, that's never happened. Detroit's southwest side is home to a number of sprawling refineries and manufacturing plants. It is one of the poorest parts of the city, according to a 2022 report by the American Lung Association. The city's short-term particle pollution ranked among the worst in the nation. Being close to those refineries, that's an environmental factor that's difficult to control, said Dr. Ruma something that I can't pronounce. A pediatric pulmonologist at University of Michigan Hospital, Detroit. It does increase the asthma or risk of asthma flare-ups, and for them it's even more important to follow the air quality recommendations. Because people of color's lungs are different and more sensitive to other people. That's ridiculous. Riley's own experiences prompted him to start Just Air, which provides air or pollution monitoring. Just because you're born in a certain zip code or you're born into a certain family with a certain skin color doesn't mean you should have an unequal what? Oh, an unequal go at it. Yeah, nobody says that, dude. Nobody actually believes that you should. That's stupid.
Don't mind me.
Okay.
Keep talking.
So now, like this, like I don't understand this whole ridiculousness. We have so many, like so much evidence that, first of all, forest fires are necessary for the rejuvenation of a forest. Like, I wonder how many years it will take for articles to come out saying those record-breaking fires of 2023, ever since then, these forests are very lush. Like, I'm waiting for that to happen. Like, I'm waiting for this, like a Nature magazine or something to do an article about how scientists are very, very excited to discover how well the trees are flourishing after those amazingly record-breaking fires. Like, I know that, I'm sorry, climate change is a thing, okay? Because it's been a thing since before humans existed, and it's going to be a thing way long after. And the planet is a closed system. All we're doing is just fucking with the system a little bit. And that system is going to come back and slap us in the face pretty damn hard. And we're going to be very, very surprised to find out just how little we can actually control as a species when it comes to nature and the earth. We are very arrogant to think that we are going to kill the planet. No. The planet is not, like, we are not going to kill the planet. Like, do you have any idea the amount of actual conscious sabotage we would have to do to the planet to actually render it uninhabitable? And even then, rendering it uninhabitable for us doesn't necessarily mean that we've rendered it uninhabitable for every species of life on the planet. Because if you go through the history of the 5 great extinction events, scientists theorize that about 99% of every species that has existed over the course of whatever 3 billion years is the theory of when life began, about 3.5 billion years ago. The theory is that in total, about 99% of every species that has ever existed has been extinct, has been made extinct at some point. And yet, there is still some form of life that manages to hold on and continue the evolutionary chain in some other direction. So, until the sun fucking dies, there will be wildfires, and there will be hurricanes, and there will be earthquakes, and there will be ice ages, and volcanoes, and everything to, like, long after we're frickin' fossil print in the Earth's record. Now we're going to move on. Let's see what chat's saying here. There's a title for you, says Spittlebuggies. Ah, yes. That article title, yeah. Let's hope that I'm not missing. I'm gonna open Twitch on the computer just to make sure that I'm not missing chat, because I have a feeling that my mobile app is not showing me what I need it to show me. Okay. I need that. Okay. Now let's pop over here and check out. Yes?
I got a single leg on a tweet today.
That's it?
Yeah. It was from Groovy Bruce.
Huh?
It was from Groovy Bruce.
It was from what? Fuck you!
What?
Oh, joy, more reason for people to hate us. No, see, the people that hate us, Pixie, hate us because they're projecting. They're projecting all their bullshit onto our country because they can't stand looking in the mirror, because what they see in the mirror is fucking terrifying. So instead of holding their own leaders to account, they look over here and they go, ha ha, look at all the stupid shit that's happening in Canada. Ha 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 ha, isn't that hilarious? Oh my god, oh my god. Meanwhile, their house is literally burning down around them, and they're letting it happen. Meanwhile, we've got an opposition that's actually trying to do shit and hold people to account. And I firmly believe that judging by the reception in the House of Commons whenever Polyev gets up to speak, and I know that it's not just from his caucus. I know that it's some of the other people too clapping. And he keeps, like, the more I look at tweets from Justin Trudeau, the more I look at, like, anything, people are not happy. And we are actually talking about it and doing something about it. Freaking over there, they're just like, the whole world's gone to shit. Look at Australia, look at Canada, look at the UK. Ha ha ha. Aren't they shit? Meanwhile, fucking Joe what's-his-fuck over there is saying God save the Queen, and his puppets masters are freaking doing all sorts of horrible shit. It's like, it's disgusting. I get no likes all the time. I can't believe Bruce Campbell liked a tweet from you. He didn't even like...
You said the same thing when William Shatner retweeted me twice.
No, that one didn't piss me off. Fucking, I said happy birthday to the asshole, and he didn't like it. And you, what did he like from you? What was it? Was it the GIF? Was it the fucking GIF tweet? It was the GIF tweet, wasn't it? Fucking...
I've died and gone to Olympus.
It was the fucking Xena GIF. That's what it was. Asshole. Not all us Americans are bitches. I know, spittle buggies. I know. There are some of you that I love. Driving a redeemed, do 10 side raises. Well, alrighty then. I will do 10 side raises. This skirt is very short. Okay.
There's also squats involved.
I didn't see the squats.
It's there.
I didn't see the squats.
It's there.
Where? I don't see it.
It's there.
Where are the kettlebells?
Behind you. Next to the vodka. That's where they were.
What vodka?
Oh, it's rum. Drunk.
I'm sorry, I wasn't going to drink tonight. You're the one who brought me a drink.
Because I didn't want you to be dry.
Wait, okay. You're gonna... Can somebody explain to him that can't work? You can't call me a drunk and then say you don't want me to be drunk. 1, 2, 3, 4. Guys, it's about to be summer vacation. 5. Mommy's gonna need a lot of rum. 6. Or wine. 7. 8. 9. 10. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Very, very interesting. One. Ow. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. I think my problem last night was I stupidly decided to have one of the cocktails and doing shots. That was stupid. Either or. Either or, not both. You're back. Oh. Ad break. Ah. Okay, so now we're going to learn about a second grade teacher that was upset that second grade students didn't understand what non-binary is. Because, you know, non-binary people have such a handle on what it is themselves. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Where's the video player? Where's the damn video player?
So, today in Queer Teacher Things, one of my students asked about my roommate. I told them their name, and they asked if my roommate was a boy or a girl. And I said, neither. They were like, well, do they have a boy name or a girl name? And I said, neither.
So it's just going to autoplay.
Oh.
It's just a short.
And they said, well, do they wear boy clothes or girl clothes? And I said, what are boy clothes and girl clothes? And they go, you know. And I said, no, my friend, I don't know. What are boy clothes and girl clothes? And they said, well, what kind of clothes do they wear? And I said, well, they normally wear jeans and a t-shirt. And they said, well, what color is the t-shirt? And I said, all colors. And they said, well, that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. Because you're not making any sense. If you want to describe what a, quote, non-binary person would wear, you would say, well, they wear whatever they felt like wearing that day. If they wanted to wear a dress, they'd wear a dress. If they wanted to wear pants, they'd wear pants. If they wanted to, like... First of all, you shouldn't be talking about sexual or identity at fucking 7 and gender identity at 7 unless somebody specifically asks you. And you're a teacher. So you go, well, that's a conversation you should talk to your mommy and daddy about. Because you're a teacher. You're not their parent.
And I said, it doesn't have to make sense. And then they walked away because they got mad at me.
That's pretty based. They said that does not make sense, and they pushed you on it. Somebody said that moment when second graders are smarter than their teacher. Mm-hmm. These days, I feel like a lot of elementary school students are probably smarter than their teachers.
So today in Queer Teacher Things,
Queer Teacher Things. Queer Teacher Things. That's what she called it. Just no. Just no. Like, and I am super pro, like, lesbians, gays, bisexual, like, all, like, I very much so. But also, children are not adults, and sexual orientation, sexual identity, sexual preferences, that is not a child conversation. Not every child is able to handle a conversation of that age, or of that magnitude, at the same age. Okay? There's a reason why, when it came time to learn about sexual education, the teachers handed out the permission forms, and about 80% of the class erupted into loud exacerbations of ew or giggles. Because kids are, oh, shock of all shocks, kids. And they're immature. And we got those, this was in like 5th grade we were getting these permission forms. And the class was still acting like retards. Oh shit, did I say that out loud? But seriously, like, and because my mom and dad had already, like, because I was one of those kids that could handle that conversation, Julie Begins, thank you for following me. So because of that, I was one of the like 3 children and out of the 20 something kids that was not screaming ew at the top of their lungs and giggling like freaks. Because surprise, surprise, most kids don't want to talk about that stuff. And so for a teacher to sit there and force them to talk about it, first of all, is not okay. And it's just not their place to have those discussions, especially without the consent of the parent. Modern women have lost reproductive value. Oh. That sounds, that just sounds amazing. Let's hear about this.
I forgot to add purity. Except Ethan Klein. Ethan Klein likes his wife to have multiple men. That is...
Wow, she is on fire about Ethan now that Ethan's not in front of her. She was pretty much Xanaxed out that whole conversation, and then she tapped out. Damn, Pearl.
Is what that is that what your ideal is? That's what Ethan's. No, you want no. Anyways, what up, guys? Welcome to the Just Pearly Things YouTube channel, and welcome to my whiteboard video. Before I start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell. The way you're going to be notified of my daily videos.
Your daily. I looked at her video, at her YouTube channel, and I understand like I need to upload more, right? But the way she uploads, like I looked at it and it's like 8 videos at a time, just boom 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 boom. And I know that they're like clips of stuff and like videos like this, but it's like it looks like meant like just video vomiting. It's just like, and then I thought this, and then I thought this, and then I thought this, and then I thought this. Like it was just
like the video on your way in. That's the most important metric that YouTube uses to push out these streams. So today we're going to be talking about how the modern woman has lost all the things that men value. Basically useless when it comes to reproduction and from a historical perspective. Now, this isn't insulting anybody personally.
Here, let me make a video that's insulting 50% of the human population, and then I'll tell them, don't worry, I'm not insulting anybody personally. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine, really. I'm just hating on my entire gender. It's fine, though, because I'm not calling anybody out personally.
But as a group, let's just look what the numbers say. So, the issue we have, what do men value? When we go back to evolution, right? We want to pass on our genes, whatever. Men value symmetry. So, also, I'm a bad speller, so if I spell anything wrong, you know.
You didn't bother looking up how to spell some of the harder words that you're going to be... You know what I do before if I really don't know how to spell something, I will ask Siri how to spell it before I type it. Because I don't want to fucking look like a moron.
AKA beauty. I guess we'll say in shape, and let's just say, you know, motherly qualities, you know. And I'm not going to get too in the weeds here, but let's just say mother qualities. So, you know, good with kids.
So you haven't, like, you're just guessing. You don't actually have like a source. You didn't like do any scientific research on generally what the general male population finds to be a qualities in a woman that they want. You didn't, none of that. You're just guessing.
cooks, cleans, and even if you outsource that stuff, they still want, them to be feminine, whatever. Now, let's talk about the
what if your man is a chef
American woman
and he likes cooking?
I dropped it. Now, let's talk about the average American woman. Now, I know there's unicorns. I know there's women that aren't like that. But all I'm talking about is just the group. So here we have the average American woman. So she's about 5'5", 5'6". She's 170 pounds.
God damn,
by
dude.
the time she gets married, the average age of first marriage is getting close to 30. It's 31 in the UK, so I'm just going to use 31. So 5'6", 170 pounds. The average wife, let's say. That's probably better.
So she's overweight.
That's the way to put it. 31 years old. Has slept with between 5 to 8 men.
Holy shit.
Is a very
What's wrong with that? 31 years old, 5 to 8 men. What is wrong with that? That's like, let's say she starts dating at 17. Okay, or no, 16. Let's say she starts dating at 16. She decides that she wants to lose her virginity when she's 17, okay? So she loses her virginity with her boyfriend, okay? And they break up when she's like 18 or something. And so from 18 to 31, let's say she has 6 partners in 11 years, okay? That's roughly a year and a half with each person. So she's not like pinballing from man to man. Okay? She's tried to have a relationship with these 6 people. Okay? And we're saying a year and a half with each person. That means that she is literally getting out of a relationship, going back into a relationship. We're not accounting for the downtime between relationships. We're not counting for the self-work that you would do between relationships. We're not counting for any of that time. So we're just saying 6 partners, 11 years, year and a half, roughly, right? So, again, wouldn't you want somebody who's had relationship experience? Like, you don't want somebody who's like only has one night stands, right? But you also don't want to have a 31-year-old who has no relationship experience.
Muted number, I've also seen...
Quickly. Stop.
Minty. Mr. Driving Ape just brought me a thing of a joint, and it's minty.
I've seen studies that say 15. I've also seen studies that say 20. But let's be conservative today. 5 to 8.
What studies have you seen 15 to 20 partners?
So she's 5'6", 170 pounds, 31 years old, has slept with 5 to 8 men, and will give the men 1.2 kids. On top of that, there is a 90% chance she's on birth control.
So?
Or has been on birth control at some point in her life.
So?
1 out of 3 chance she's had an abortion. 1 out of 3 chance she has an STD.
Okay, where are you getting these stats? Because I have been in a group of 10 women, and none of them have had an STD. And being on birth control doesn't affect your value.
And the average woman is not a good cook, not good at cleaning, and honestly hasn't spent a lot of time around children, So this is, again, the average American
woman. Are you talking
woman.
about yourself, Pearl? I feel like Pearl's talking about herself. When she's describing the average American woman. I really feel like Pearl is actually talking about Pearl, not 1 out of 3 get abortions? Yeah, right? It tastes like a Newport. I've never had a Newport. But it does. It reminds me of that very brief, like, 2 weeks when I started smoking again just before I got pregnant with the youngest. I was smoking those Next cigarettes that they had like a bead that you could pop and make it a menthol if you wanted to. And that's kind of what it reminded me of. It was like that same minty type of thing. So yeah, I really want to know where Pearl is. I feel Pearl is a virgin. I feel that Pearl, I really feel like Pearl actually plays for both teams, and she's been rejected by both teams, and so now she hates women because secretly she's more attracted to them. But men will give her more attention because right now it's like the whole men's rights thing, the MGTOW thing, it's a shit on women, right? So the women who shit on other women get attention from these idiot men because they're the good ones. They're the rare ones. They're ones that I can talk to. Because those guys, as much as they hate women, still need a woman to talk to and fuck, right? So Pearl is one of those women who really actually would want a female partner, I think. But no female will be with her. So she is now acting this way because she's at least getting attention from the idiots in the red pill sphere. That sounds great. It does. That was a yummy joint. Not the virginity part, no. Virgins are too much work. 8 partners at 31 is easygoing in my opinion. I agree. I very much agree. But it's 100% fine for a 31-year-old guy to have had 16 partners. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Oh, Gardner, 69. The first time I've been able to see a stream. Welcome. You watched me on Lords of the Night. Oh, shit. Cool. Well, welcome to the stream. Welcome. Okay, let's see what else Pearl has to say.
What did men want? Again, from a historical point of view and an evolutionary point of view. They want beauty in shape.
Beauty and in shape. Okay. Do you know what an intelligent guy, like a guy that you actually want to be with, is going to say first? An actual keeper of a guy is going to say, I want somebody that I can have a conversation with. I want somebody that has my back. I want somebody that I can share, like, my vulnerabilities with. I want somebody that that can hold things down for me while I'm at work, and that I know that when I come home, everything is going to be okay. And so that, like, so that I'm able to help her when she needs help. I want, like, that's what a valuable man is going to say that he wants in a woman. He's not going to be like, I want her to be hot and in shape and have big tits and a nice ass. Ugh. That's not how, like, the majority of men, like, that's how they joke, right? That's how they joke around. right? But when you legitimately ask the majority of men, hey, what do you, like, seriously want in a partner? They're not going to be like, I really hope she has nice boobs. You know, like, fuck off, Pearl. Do you really think guys are that fucking stupid?
The average woman...
Oh, wait. Yes, you do, because the guys that you hang around with are that stupid.
Woman is 170 pounds. Dang it, not in shape, okay? The average woman, I forgot to add purity. Except Ethan...
Purity? What guy in this day and age goes, I want a pure woman? I would really like to know. I would very much like to know. And just out of curiosity, I'm going to do something Pearl didn't do, and I'm going to do a quick Google search. We're going to do a very quick Google search. Just on one of her points. Average weight of the American female. Oh, she did. You know what it is? She grabbed the top Google result. She grabbed the very top Google result. It's right under Google image results. So she grabbed the little snippet at the very top that says, according to the CDC, the average weight for women 20 and up. 20 and up. They're averaging the weights of women from ages 20 and up. That's a very large range of age. And so she's saying that the average American 31-year-old woman is 170 pounds because of that little Google result about the from the CDC, or a snippet that cites the CDC.
Ethan Klein likes his wife to have multiple men. That is what. That is that what your ideal is? That's what Ethan's. No. You want no. Anyway, so let's from a historical point of view, men also wanted purity because they wanted to ensure paternity. Now that we've made modern ways around this,
that's crazy. She was so lackadaisical during the Ethan Klein debate. She was so unprepared. She didn't even care. And now that she's in her own studio making her own videos, now she's throwing shade at him because he's not there.
But this does not change the fact that this is what men want.
That's pretty pathetic.
Can we say the average chick is pure when she slept with 5+ men? 100 years ago, 85% of women were virgins. 85%. Now...
I'm sorry, was there a census that took the percentage of virginity 100 years ago? Because I'm fairly sure that there wasn't. I'm fairly sure that the census takers in the 1900s were not, like the early 1900s, were not inquiring about the sex life of their polies. I'm willing to bet a large portion of money on that. That was just not something you spoke about. It just wasn't. That, especially coming out of the Victorian era, are you insane? Like that wouldn't have happened. How could you have possibly garnered that statistic? 85% of women were virgins 100 years ago. In 1923, in the Roaring 20s? In the Roaring 20s, you want me to believe that all the flapper girls were virgins? Is that really what you want me to... Okay. Sure. Yep. Purity, LOL, what the fuck? Right? 100 years ago, the 20s, the Roaring 20s, right? Yeah, there was There was no sex going on in the speakeasies at all. Nope. There were no Al Capone was not running any sort of organized anything having to do with sex or alcohol or any of that. No. Anyway. Oh, I am not in the correct window to resume playing the video. Silly me. I was trying to check chat.
Most women have slept with over 5 men. Now, men also want a legacy, right? Do they get that with 1.2 children? I mean, maybe. And purity.
Wait.
So if
Why does having 1.2 children not give you a legacy? What? Are you supposed to have like 20 kids?
1 out of 3 women has had 90% have been on birth control. 1 out of 3 has an STD. Is the average woman pure nowadays? Now, a lot of times I get flack because I will not acknowledge that all women are not. Now, a lot of times I get flack. A lot of times I get flack because I don't acknowledge that not all women are like that. So I'd like.
Did she just... Did I just have a seizure, or did she make a mistake and not edit that out?
No, it's something I've noticed. It's an editing tactic she does.
That was edited?
That was edited. Yeah.
That... Okay.
So I'd like to say now, not every woman is like this, okay? However,
I would say that most women aren't like this.
Historical point of view, 95% of women are, because only 5% of women are virgins on their wedding day. So
where are you getting this number from? And who cares? The guy marrying her sure doesn't, because he's marrying her still. If guys really didn't want this, if guys really didn't want, like, experienced partners, they wouldn't marry the women who had more than 0 partners before them. Okay? And you can't just tell me, oh, they're settling because there's no option. Well, you know what? Maybe either times have changed and men want different things, or if we're going to use your logic, why weren't the men before this happened, before women, in your words, got to this low value standpoint, where were all the high value men holding them to account? Where were all the men back before all this shit changed? Not like putting their foot down and going, hey, I don't like this. This isn't working. Or could it possibly be that you're absolutely out of your depth here and you don't know what you're talking about?
we get a lot of women that come forward and say, I'm a traditional woman. But they're really not a traditional woman because, again, they've had multiple partners. They didn't get married young. And this isn't to insult anybody. None of this means they're bad people. It just means that, in general, the average American woman has lost the things that men value.
It doesn't mean that you're not... It doesn't mean that you're not a bad person. It means that you don't have any worth. It's totally fine. I'm not insulting you. I'm just telling you you're worthless. It's okay.
Now let's talk about the institution of marriage. Now, a lot of men will still... Men adapt. Let's be honest, guys. Sex is a need for men. It's not a want. So a lot of times when we shame men for saying, well, why would you date those women, or you guys accept it? And we understand that, but if a guy wants to reproduce, he kind of has to deal with what the market gives him. And that
No. If a guy wants to reproduce, he should be doing the same thing as a woman should be doing and choosing the best mate. You don't settle when you reproduce.
puts it on the women. Like, what are we giving the men? So let's talk about marriage. A lot of men, I mean, do you expect your future wife to be a virgin? No. None of the guys expect this anymore. They know.
No, none of them want that anymore. That's the thing. They don't expect it because they don't want it. It's not an expectation doesn't go away simply because it's not available anymore. And an expectation of somebody is meant to hold that somebody to an account of some kind, to a higher standard of some kind. It's not like a commodity. So, obviously, social and cultural expectations have shifted for both men and women. Right? Like, it's no longer appropriate for a man to walk up behind a female coworker and slap her ass. That's an expectation that is not allowed anymore. Does that mean that all men are weak and don't appreciate asses because they don't slap one every time they see it? No, it means that they've learned that when you're out in public and you don't have a personal relationship with somebody, you don't freaking grab them like that. It has nothing to do with value or worth.
This is what we're dealing with. This is the modern market. So let's talk about marriage. The issue with marriage is now we have a roughly 50% divorce rate. So 50% of marriages are getting divorced. Our marriages are winding up in divorce. And men only get their kids 10 to 20% of the time. So if you care about legacy, and you care about your children, which I would imagine if you married him, he does. He doesn't even, if it doesn't work out, he now loses his children.
I am curious, what is Pearl's real body count? That's a good question.
So can we really blame men for
legacy
thinking
deals with boys,
that's not
not
a
girls.
good deal? Yep. That's not a good deal. And it also kind of makes it a bit disingenuous when you always see the TradCon saying or the Christians saying, which I do love you guys. I am Catholic and conservative, but it makes it a bit disingenuous when they'll say, oh, well, why don't you just find a good woman?
I'd bring Pearl home to my wife and she'd be gagged quickly and I'd be told put her back where she came from and she'd be correct.
When 100 years ago, that was a prerequisite for marriage. We can't really...
Yes, and things change. 300 years before that, or not even. There was arranged marriages very commonly up until up until about 100 years ago or so. We don't do those anymore.
Really put it on the men. It's really on the women to
unless we
improve
live
these
in India.
numbers here. So again, we have the marriage institution, which is very much discriminates against men. It's a 50% failure rate. And most people wouldn't go into a business contract with a 50% failure rate where you know that if they leave, they get your most valuable asset, which I would argue is your children.
First of all, children are not an asset, you crazy person. And second of all, the fact that marriage has a 50% failure rate says more about the fact that we don't know how to have a good relationship anymore. And we don't know how to communicate. And we don't know how to deal with our emotions. More than it says anything about the value of either men or women. Why are we trying to put value on anybody? We're people, Pearl. We are not things. Okay? Things have value. All right? People are irreplaceable, individual, unique thing, like animals. I'm sorry. Yes, we are animals. We are, like, you can replace a thing. You can't replace, there will only be one Pearl Davis. Thank God. But seriously, you can't put value on a one-off. There will only ever be one blind press. You can't put value on something that will only exist once. Like,
I would argue there's nothing more important and valuable than children. And now what does this lead to? Single mother homes. Now we all know that when now we're the couple's broken up, right? So now this is the couple, they broke up, okay? We all know that when moms raise children, the kids are more likely, I'm not going to draw it, but they're more likely to drop out of school. They're more likely to run away from home. They're more likely to end up in a mental institution. They make up 80% of prisoners. Most of the homeless are from single mother homes. So now...
where are we getting these statistics? And why are we pinning every single thing that they did to make them homeless / in jail / in a mental health institution? Why is that all pinned on the single parent household, the single mother household? Like, yeah, you know what? Your mom does form you. Your parents do form who you are, right? But after that, you are your own person. And you can't be like, oh, well, I was raised in a single mother household, and she worked a lot, so that's why I robbed that bank and killed that person. Huh? Those two things don't correlate. Oh, I had a single mom household, and it was really hard because it was me and my two brothers, and, I had to look after them, and I really hated it. So that's why I'm a serial killer now. What? Like, that's what Pearl is acting like. The a single mom household immediately...
Well, I have to agree with her on that one, though. No, and Assassin just dropped the stat I was looking for. See, it's like 70% of criminals are admitted to be from single-parent households, and most of them are not fathered households. That's where she's getting that, and it's a true stat.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, where's the fucking dad?
Gone. Poof. That's
Why?
it. Who knows? Nobody knows. Just move on.
But it matters.
No,
men think, I could get married, and there's a 50% chance she'll take half, and I'm only going to see my kid. There's an 80% chance if we do divorce, she gets primary custody, meaning that
Why are we blaming everybody else but ourselves for being where we are?
All of these risk factors influence my child. I'll hear a lot of trad cons, which I do love, you guys, but I'll hear a lot of trad cons talk about how, well, the men just need to be better. But, in my opinion,
how about we all need to be better?
It starts with the women before we talk about the men, because even if the men improve, there's a 95% chance he ain't going to get a virgin, which historically that was a prerequisite for marriage.
Okay, but it's no longer a prerequisite for marriage. All right? That's no longer a prerequisite. So stop with the virgin shit. It's weird. Okay? Just stop.
This is why we have lost everything that men value, and this is why the average American chick is, no longer dateable. But the good news is a lot of these things can be improved. The weight thing is a start, getting married before you have children is a start. So You know, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like the video on your way out. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe the quality of women is just amazing and I am just a Debbie Downer. I don't know. Like,
Or how about this? How about both genders need to do some improving and the overall quality of relationships need to improve instead of everybody just going, no, it's men's fault. No, it's women's fault. Everybody's losing their value. Ugh. These ladies are why men are staying single. Oh boy. Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it takes quite a lot to confuse me. I mean, we have one feminist talking about the power of her pussy. I don't know if her clitoris is gonna fend off evil. I don't get what's so heroic about it. However, we have an actual gym creep. And I'm so sorry if you were expecting it to be a male. Definitely a woman.
Power of the pussy. Once you discover this for yourself and use it, it is mind-blowingly amazing and fun. All you gotta do is call him up and say, hey, and he will drop whatever it is that he is doing. Be here in 5 minutes and
Ew.
that's pussy power.
Oh my god.
Ew.
I can only imagine the guys sitting over there being like, I have Lily the One-Eyed Wonder Wiener power, okay?
That's
All I
gross.
Can do is just sit there, wait for a woman to call me and ask to bone. I don't even have to do anything. Lily the One-Eyed Wonder Wiener power. I don't understand why you're taking charge of yourself. I don't understand why this is like what you're choosing to do with your life.
Yeah.
But gentlemen, let me give you an honest and true piece of advice, okay? If you're at a gym, there's a woman there, and you're considering hooking up with her, getting her phone number, ask yourself, is she wearing a full face of makeup? If the answer is yes, do not get in a relationship with her because you are one of many and she probably switches her membership every month.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And she's not there to work out. If she's got makeup on at the gym and she's not leaving the gym, like she hasn't like just applied it in the change room and she's going to work, like that is literally the only time it's acceptable to have makeup on at the gym. Is I have showered and I have to go to work now, so I'm going to do my makeup at the gym and leave and go to work.
Hi.
Huh?
I was just saying hi.
Oh, hi.
How are you?
Honestly, I'm just trying to work out.
Okay.
Yeah, let's gender reverse that and
Ew.
it would be all over the internet and feminists would have their torches.
That
and
is
pitchforks.
gross.
I decided to stop fucking with women because they are intelligent. They know what they're doing. Women always want to say that we have it harder. No, men have absolute garbage in the dating world.
2 dates in 24 hours and they were both so fun. Come along with me. So date number 1, we went to an axe throwing center. It was super fun and I actually beat him. Well, actually he won 1 game and I won 2. He brought me sunflowers, which was super cute. Afterwards, we kept the fun going and went to this bar that had a bunch of games.
How funny would it be if there was nobody there with her and she's just there taking herself on these dates?
So this was my first time going axe throwing or doing anything like that, and it was actually a really good time.
Why would you video that? Like, you're on a date. Just be on a date. Why do you have to make social media, like, what? Just either if you really want to talk about it, just do like a little, I went on this really nice date. Like, why do you have to be like, oh, hold on, I have to take selfies?
We played beer pong with a couple that was there and we completely annihilated them. I hadn't played beer pong in years, so that was really fun. On to date number 2. This is usually more my vibe. We went to this really nice Italian restaurant.
You know what? That's her vibe. Costs more money.
Yep.
I love the decor and ambiance here. This is a perfect place for a solo date. The pizza was absolutely
A
incredible.
solo date? You mean a date by yourself?
Well, you know you're bougie when you get pear on your pizza,
Translation, bougie means gold digging.
but you have to try it if you like sweet and savory. So you have to pass this fairy garden in order to get to your car, and it's so pretty. You can have dinner out there as well, and it just looks so magical. Afterwards, we walked across the street to have a post-dinner drink. It was pretty lively for a restaurant at 10 p.m., which was really nice. My date brought me a bottle of wine, which is my favorite, 10 out of 10.
Lady, this is called being a hoe. Dates these days aren't an indication of romantic interest, just
No.
personal selfish gains. If you're not using your head, these women will use you for their entertainment. It's all a big game. It's not about preference. It's about accommodations. She's literally doing it right. Just because you go on a date doesn't mean you're exclusive to one person. But when he's double dipping his purple-headed yogurt slinger, then you have a problem? When I was seriously trying to figure out the kind of man I wanted to date last year, I went on 3 dates in a day. I highly recommend it. Wow, I don't know what to say. Here's what the problem is. You should see if you have a connection with somebody, go on a date, see if it figures out with them. If that doesn't work out, then you go for guy number 2. Don't have guy number 1 and number 2 open for option at the same time. You're hoeing yourself, and you're setting these men up to have hurt feelings. Men, this is why you need to be cheap as all hell in the beginning, because don't waste all the good dates on somebody who has 3 other guys lined up. Women.
Ding! What? Jesus Christ. Thank God, Chloe. Thank the fuck God you grew up. Holy shit. Wow, she has grown up a lot in the last couple of years. Good for her. 'Cause she was a train wreck, and I am glad to see that she has calmed down and is spreading her message in this way.
Women need to respect their bodies, and men need to respect their bank accounts. Don't be giving up hundreds of dollars on the first date, you slut. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.
I like that. Like I said, she's gotten a lot better. Like I found a short Ghost Dog, I think it was, tagged me in a short of hers. And she was actually talking to Pearl. It was addressed to Pearl. And she was saying, I'm glad I can't believe I used to sound like you. And it's true. She really did used to sound a lot like Pearl. Let's see. Snapping bras is frowned upon. Yes. So many jump cuts. Oh. India and Afghanistan. Yep. There was Assassin. Hello, Assassin. A dowry. My family is multiple mix, so she can F off because she is wrong. Oh, there's the FBI crime statistics. She is clueless about the reality. My friends can't even find normal women to date. Right? Normal, LOL, normal women. I work out in my basement. Yeah, that's probably the best thing to do. Don't forget I'm in conservative California. It's Sarah Craft Sparky. Hello. I'm doing alright. There are still conservative parts of Cali. Oh, that's funny. Mostly in central CA and around San Diego. Dating without intent to marry is like walking into a supermarket without a wallet. You either leave empty-handed or taking something that doesn't belong to you. Yep. Fact. Facts. Nope. Move to Idaho. Nope. That's funny. Okay, so the situation with Rammstein. So he, the lead singer of Rammstein has been accused of drugging and I guess assaulting or trying to assault somebody, and she said no, and he left. So he didn't actually assault her. So yeah.
So obviously, as most of the music world knows, Rammstein, more specifically their vocalist Till Lindemann, in some pretty hot water lately. And I haven't really talked about this a ton, mainly because I don't know the guys. I don't know the people that have made accusations. I've never been around them, so I don't know what is true and what's not. But
Right.
I do want to talk about this because everybody's been asking me my opinion as somebody that works in the music industry. But that's always a slippery slope, man. Giving my opinion would be unfair based on all the things I just told you. I don't know them. I haven't been around the situation. But I do want to talk about this situation just to get everybody up to speed. I am going to keep this very objective, as I've already told you guys. We're live on Twitch right now. For those of you watching this on YouTube later, I know there are a lot of fans out there that think very strongly about this. Please be respectful. Don't get crazy. There's no need to start arguments in the comments and stuff like that.
And I'm a fan of Rammstein, right? I read the article, and I watched a video about it, and the allegations are very, at least the ones that I've heard, he didn't touch her, he didn't, he asked her if she wanted to do anything, and she said no. And then he got angry and left. And then the next day she said she felt sick. So, she's claiming that the drink was spiked. It could have been, or it could have been just a bad mixture, right? Maybe it got left out too long and it just turned it doesn't necessarily have to have been spiked.
I really want everybody that watches this to come into this with an open mind and just possibly think about this, from my standpoint as somebody in the music industry rather than a fan, because we know, as fans of certain bands, when our favorite singers or band members or whatever get accused of things, those are things we don't want to hear.
No.
We like these people. Sometimes we've probably propped them too far up on a pedestal, and we want to think they can do no wrong. And sometimes this comes up, and I've seen a lot of people online going crazy. This all started a few weeks ago when there was an accusation against Till made from a user on Reddit. Yeah. The short gist of it is they basically said they got invited backstage to a Rammstein concert. Sexual advances were made on them from the vocalist Till. This person denied them, and then they basically claimed that they got drugged and don't remember the rest of their night, and that they're basically sexually assaulted. This person did make it a very big deal on the internet to
But then, no, that's not what she said, though. In the post, she said he left, she didn't remember the rest of the night, and then she was sick.
Blow up and make this known and
but
talk
she
about
says
this.
I don't think I was,
and even made it the bio, the info on their social media.
Oh,
it's
wow.
They were going very, very, very hard. And of course, like we said, a lot of people came to the band's defense. A lot of people were victim shaming, says this person is making this up for money, which
I'm sorry, even if I had been assaulted by a famous person, I would not put it in my bio, in my social media accounts. That's weird.
I hate to see that.
That's very weird.
We have seen that has happened before in other cases, but now in turn, there's people that don't bring this stuff up because they're afraid of being shamed for it. And so, but anyways, all that aside, let's go on. So the whole after party thing is called Row Zero. The concept is that representatives of the band find quote unquote hot girls, bring them backstage to party with the band, stuff like that. What I will say, that is not an uncommon thing in the music industry. That is not unique thing to Rammstein. I've seen a lot of people saying the band is scummy for doing this. Guys, I have seen this on almost every tour I've ever done.
Yeah, it is so a thing. There's a reason that the groupie shit is talked about. There's a reason, those shows that show a security guard telling somebody to come backstage, because that happens. It
that
totally
has a party
happens.
environment. Somebody from the band, whether it's a production assistant or a band member's assistant or somebody in the crew, to get extra passes
Security,
when the show's letting out. They're in the crowd just looking for basically talent scouting.
Yeah.
Is what it is. And whoever's out there will find a group of girls and be like, hey, we got some passes. You guys want to come party with the band? And this is not an uncommon thing,
Absolutely
man. In my experience on the road at these after parties, it's literally just been an after party. It's music, lots of booze, lots of dancing, stuff like that. I have never seen anything illegal or weird or anything that I feel like I should go to the cops or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I can't speak to what's happening at the Rammstein after show parties, but this is not a unique thing to them.
You're like, because when you perform, right? After you perform, you are high as fuck, like on endorphins. Okay, so you want to party and shit. So of course it's gonna be like dancing, drinking, all that shit.
I think that needs to be buried. A lot of fucking people are doing this, dude.
Yeah.
But anyways, so this article we're looking at says, what are the allegations against German rock band singer Till Lindemann? Police in Germany have announced they are investigating Till after several women have now come forward with allegations of sexual assault and drink spiking, as well as claims that they were groomed for sex at concerts. Okay. Till has denied the allegations, with his lawyers calling the claims without exception untrue. Rammstein has also previously responded to the claims, writing on Twitter that they could rule out the possibility of what is being claimed took place in our environment. They then issued a further statement saying they take the allegations against Lindemann extremely seriously and insisting they want their fans to feel comfortable and safe at shows. So we're at where we stand right now. The band is under investigation.
That sucks. Like to make a statement like that saying we're taking these allegations seriously and we want our fans to feel safe, like that's kind of a big deal. Like, because usually you would see a band kind of rally behind their guy, right? But like, could you imagine if Chad Kroeger was put under investigation for assault and Mike and Ryan and Daniel were like, wow, this is really serious and we want to make sure that our fans are safe and we're like really taking this investigation into Chad seriously. Like, that would be that would not look good. That would not look like a good at all.
More specifically, Till. He is under investigation. No charges have been filed. There are several women that have come forward with these claims, all having similar stories about getting drugged or sexually assaulted or groomed at shows. And some of these women are remaining anonymous as well. And I've seen some people accuse.
And you got an ad break?
Like, well, they're just doing it for money and clout and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, if that was the case, they wouldn't be doing it anonymously. But the second part of this is that Rammstein, they're known notoriously for having like really fucking good lawyers, dude. Like some of the best in the music industry, whether it comes to PR or copyright stuff or anything like that. Any normal person would not be in the crosshairs of Rammstein's lawyers without reason. Allegations against Lindemann first began following an alleged incident that took place at the band's recent concert in Lithuania. The girl, whose name is Shelby Lynn, she's 24, she's from Ireland. This is the girl from Reddit. She claims that her drink had been spiked by Lindemann, saying she denied the rock star's sexual advances while at an after party and later wound up in a hotel.
Oh, they totally have.
Kidding. More allegations against Till have surfaced after, with multiple reports of sexual assault. One woman told a broadcaster in Germany that she had been backstage at a show in February 2020 when she was 22, when Lindemann asked her to join him in a secluded room before allegedly forcing her to have sex with him. Reporters also spoke to another woman, age 21 at the time of the alleged incident, who claimed
went to one of their shows here in Miami. Dude pulled a huge prosthetic dong out of his pants, sprayed fake spunk all over the front row. That's awesome.
Which she said she refused. So there's quite a few accusations going on here, man, and they do not look good. I will say that right now. This does not look good. You know, I know, again, going back to the victim shaming, a lot of people are saying like, oh, how come nobody talked about it before? Because they're fucking terrified, dude. We see this in culture a lot. Somebody said it in chat a little while ago. They're fucking terrified that people,
if the victim
like,
is
on
serious,
the
she
internet
goes
and other
to police,
places
not
are
Instagram.
going to say they're making shit up, and they're going to make them, they're going to guilt them about it, and that's what's happening. Like this one girl coming out with a story, whether hers is true or not, like we don't know. It was on Reddit. That has given the confidence to other people to speak up. The series of events that have followed, though, Lindemann's publisher has dropped him as a client. Explaining their reasoning in a statement, they cited both the recent accusations against Lindemann and alleged that he had featured the book he had published through them in a pornographic video, which they claimed celebrated sexual violence against women. Then a week ago, organizers for a festival in Quebec came forward and said that representatives of the band tried to ask for help in recruiting women and girls for post-concert parties during their 2010 event, which they refused. Again, that is not a unique thing to Rammstein.
No, that's not.
Tons of fucking bands do that. There's so much more into this. There's so many things going on. But
sexual
as of
violence
now,
against women in a porn video, that could be anything. That could be a BDSM video. It literally, yeah. Like, what the fuck? Like, Jesus Christ. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch the video. It's a fucking adult. Rammstein is obviously not a band for fucking kids to listen to. Although, mine do. But it's not like, it's not something... Like, and there are certain songs that when they come on, I change it if the kids are around. You know, like Pussy. I don't let them listen to Pussy. You got a pussy. I got a dicka. Like,
time of this video publishing, there have been no arrests or charges. So a lot of people in the music industry keep asking me what I think about this situation, and I will simply say it does not look good. Speaking of it not looking good, though, the next thing I want to bring up, and this is kind of huge in my opinion of knowing how bands work. Rammstein's drummer, Christoph Schneider, has come out with a statement, and I want to read this statement. Actually, I may not read the full thing because it's pretty long, but there's a big thing in this that I want to point out that made me go, oh, that's not good. Christoph started off by saying, "Dear people, I would like to share my personal emotions and thoughts with you. The accusations of the last few weeks have deeply shaken us as a band and me as a person. You fans certainly too. I feel as if in shock by the things that we have been shared on social media and in the press and print about our singer. This is an ebb and flow of emotions for us band members and crew. No, I don't think anything criminally relevant, such as the use of knockout drops, happened. No, I don't think anything illegal was going on. I've never seen anything like it, nor heard anything like it from any of our crew of 100 people. All I heard from Till's parties were adults celebrating together. And yet things seem to have happened that, although legally okay, I personally don't think are okay. Certain structures have grown that went beyond the limits and values of the other band members. It is also important to us that Till's parties are not confused with our official after-show parties.
Oh, that's interesting. So he wants people to know that Till throws his own parties and they are not to be affiliated or confused with the official band after parties. That's interesting.
Till has distanced himself from us in recent years and created his own bubble with their own people, their own parties, their own projects. That made me sad, definitely. I believe Till when he tells us that he always wanted and still wants to give his private guests a good time. How exactly these guests had imagined this, however, seems to differ in some cases from his own ideas. The wishes and expectations of the women who have now come forward were probably not fulfilled. According to their statements, they felt uncomfortable on the edge of a situation that they could no longer control. I feel sorry for her and I feel compassion. However, it is important for me to emphasize something objective. Every guest in the backstage area is free to leave. They may have to wait a moment for security to lead them safely to the exit. All bottles are sealed and in full view of guests freshly opened, or they open them themselves. That's like half of his statement. And
okay, that's big. That shows that there is kind of a breakdown in the band. But he's also saying, I'm not going to throw my bandmate under the bus. I don't think that he's a predator. I don't think that he's like a grooming people, but I also don't like that he's like isolating himself away from the band and kind of having his own parties without us, and like,
and the rest
that
of it is him talking about, like, basically
that I can
defending how
understand.
their parties are safe and people can leave at any time and stuff like that. Here's what I find weird about this as somebody in the music industry. The quote starts off with him basically defending Till and saying that, like, we don't believe any of this, but then he makes a very, very strong, compelling argument on how and why people should separate Till from the rest of the band.
Yeah.
That to me is a massive red flag.
That's bad.
I hate to
That's
say that,
very big,
because these guys have been a band for years and years together, and they probably
like
know
decades.
everything about each other. But the fact that he talked about that for a minute and said Till does his own thing, his parties are separate from ours, he's been in his own bubble with his own people, with everything going on.
That's
Dude, that
not
is,
a good look at
we
all.
are protecting our band if shit goes south, and it is smart.
Yeah.
I will say that. But to me, that is not a good look for Till, for his band to be specifically making an argument for how separate all of that really is.
That is really bad. That does not, like, if you like, bands are supposed to, like, I know that in the past, there are bands that have issues and they break up, right? But when things are going well, like, you guys are, like, they're a family.
Now, a fair point to bring up, like somebody said, is that only the truth? Maybe. Who knows? I don't know if their parties are separate. I don't know what the fuck happens on a Rammstein tour. I've never been on one. I have friends on the tour. Out of respect for them, I have not asked them anything about this, nor will I. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to put them in that weird of a position. I did see somebody in chat say a lawyer wrote that comment, probably. You're probably right. You probably are right. A lawyer or a PR person probably wrote that. But regardless of who wrote it, it was released as Christoph's statement, and it just does not look good to be distancing them from Till that much in a situation like this. No, it does not. That it shows really me that look good. They are trying to distance themselves as a band from Till with these specific allegations going on. Yeah, somebody in chat said also his real personality is...
Pardon? It is always the drummer.
Not reflected fair, as his stage persona is probably just for show. That's a fair thing to bring up, but on the flip side of that, which I feel like it would only be fair to mention, I have seen a lot of people that are like, oh, I've heard that Till is just an upstanding person in the village that he lives in Germany, and everybody says he's super nice and nobody could imagine him doing this. Well, nobody thought Bill Cosby would be doing the things he was doing either. People that knew a lot of, like, serial killers that are famous in the States, like Ted Bundy and stuff like that, said that they were fantastic people too. So my point to that isn't saying that because they did it, he's guilty or anything. My point is just saying you really never know what somebody could be doing behind the scenes. People have their secrets, man. People have their secrets, and they are able to hide them very well at times. Nobody just asked in chat, and that's actually a really good point. I would like to discuss that. What's the point of distancing the band from Till? It's not like Rammstein will continue without him. That is an accurate statement. Yep. If Till goes down, this band is done. I will say that.
You can't have Rammstein without Till, because Till, his gruff voice, like, it makes the band. Like, it makes Rammstein. Like, even when he's singing and singing, like, in Mota or On Dich, like, when he's singing, it's still awesome.
There's no way Rammstein carries on without Till's frontman. There's no way. So why distance themselves? Legal reasons. If Till does get found guilty of this stuff, maybe they just want to make sure they don't get hit with legal charges and stuff. Yeah. I don't know, man. But as of right now, with all of that out of the way, like I said, I am not going to give any kind of opinion. Do I think he's guilty? Do I think they're making it up? I'm not going to address that because, like I said, people throw out their opinions too early with stuff like this, and they look stupid. Sure. I also don't want to fuel the fire and have people go go nuts over stuff in YouTube comments, because
Yeah.
we have seen instances in the music industry where multiple people come forward and cases are thrown out. You know, very recently we've seen the Polish band Decapitated when they were on tour in the US. 2 of their band members, I think it was 2, it might have been 3, were put in jail in the US because a woman accused them of sexual assault on tour. And then it was found out that story was fabricated and they were released. I'm going to sit back and wait and see what happens, and then from there we can go from there. But what I will leave you with, again, this is not an accusation, this is just my experience from the music industry. What I will leave you with before this video ends: I have worked in the music industry long enough and have been around a lot of different kind of people of different levels of fame. When I see stories like this, I'd be lying if I told you I was surprised. As I've said a million times, the music industry is a horrible fucking industry filled with horrible people.
Oh, for sure. It absolutely. If it's like you can look at any fragment of the music industry and find your absolute scumbags. From like the grunt guy pulling cables to the most successful manager / producers, you will find somebody that is a scumbag.
Not the whole thing. I'm just saying the industry itself does indeed have horrible people in it. I'm not trying to say everybody in the music industry. And this happened recently in Nashville as well. There is a country artist in Nashville named Jimmy Allen who recently was accused by his ex-day-to-day manager of basically sexually assaulting her for 2 years. And when people were like, 2 years? She's like, yeah, he used his power and his like level of fame and influence over me to put me in positions to do things that I didn't feel comfortable doing. Dude, that's a thing, man. People know how much power they have, and people know how much influence they have over others. People know how to sweet talk. People know how to make people get into awkward situations. Look at what's happened in Hollywood. We've seen people go down over the years because they're like, hey, you want to get ahead? Do this for me. Like, this shit happens, man. Now, the same thing in this Jimmy Allen situation. I have worked with Jimmy. I've never toured with him, but I've like worked with him on shows. I've teched his guitars for him, but I don't know him well as a person. So I'm not going to say whether I think he did or didn't do this as well. But just going back to what I was saying, when I hear these stories, I am not surprised. No. And again, I just say that from experience.
Because people in positions of power like power. And even in a minor way, like not everybody in a position of power is going to be an outright psychopath or a sociopath and wield their power for bad all the time, right? But everybody with power at some point does something just because they can. Because they have the power to. That's just how it works.
Like, I have been very fortunate in my touring career to not be in a position where I feel awkward or have seen anything that is illegal or I feel like I need to report or anything like that. But the music industry is a small place. We all talk. We all know each other. I've heard horror stories from people being in weird situations with people. And again, I'm glad I never have been, but it is fair to say that whether these instances we've talked about in this video are true or not, there are things like this happening in the music industry every day.
Or just not equal.
And we need to take these allegations
False
seriously
accusers should have to
instead
face
of just assuming that people are making shit up for
I
money.
agree. I agree. False accusers need to be hold on. False accusers need to be severely punished. It's well known that Till is quite unique and very sexually driven. Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, yeah. If you just listen to any of the lyrics of his stuff, like, it's holy shit, like, It's totally sexually driven. Like he's very sexual. That's just how it is. Yeah, Till is. Yeah, he's your typical. Like when you think about like one of those German fetish people, like that's what you would think of when you think like Till. Worst YouTuber apology ever. Oh boy, this should be good. This should be good.
A YouTuber just made an apology video worse than Sienna May's iconic interpretive dance. For those that don't remember, Sienna May was a TikToker accused of sexual assault, and for some reason she marched into the mines of Mordor and hatched the most diabolical plan of all time, forged the worst video apology ever, where it was an...
Charlie, do you mean the Mines of Moria?
Interpretive dance apology. So she starts fucking boogieing out there, doing some of this, a little bit of these, and by God, I'm ashamed to say it, but she even did some of this. Just kind of downplaying the entire situation. And keep in mind, it was sexual assault accusations that also had a video as well. So there was a ton of evidence, and she still just tried to do like an apology interpretive dance.
So she was like, I'm sorry. What the fuck?
I did not think there would ever come a time that someone makes a worse response than that, but hooey, how wrong I was.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I hear a ukulele. Please tell me it's neither that vegan teacher nor queer kid stuff.
Hey, it's been a while since you saw my face. I haven't been doing so great, so I took a little break. So a lot of people are saying some things about me that aren't quite true. Doesn't matter if it's true though, just as long as it's entertaining to you.
That bleeding in your ears is normal. This is a ukulele apology video. She's turned her accusations and her response into a Disney musical number here, I suppose.
Yeah.
She's got a whole little Broadway moment here to sing and talk about it. Now, before getting into it, let me give some context on what she's apologizing for. Colleen Ballinger is most known for her Miranda Sings character. If you've been on YouTube for a...
Oh my god. Oh my god. That's the bitch that Molly played dolls with the baby. Holy shit. That video... That's the same woman. The video where Molly Burke says that she babysat Colleen Ballinger's kid, and Colleen is right there the whole time, and they basically just play dolls with her infant son. That Colleen.
For a long time, you've definitely heard that name before. She was a massive superstar on the platform. She even had her own Netflix show. And recently, another YouTuber named Adam McIntyre has really started to spearhead this information about her past and everything that's happened to them, as well as the group chat that she used to have with a lot of her fans that were minors. And the way she conducted herself, she's been accused of like asking for ass pics from her fans. And again, most of these fans were minors at the time. She'd even send really weird videos to them. It's just, there's been a ton of evidence of very unacceptable shit. So she's been accused of like grooming as well as being a predator. And this video that she made is her response to those very serious allegations.
I wonder, that's interesting.
As well as being a predator. And this video that she made is her response to those
I wonder if Miss Burke has distanced herself and knows about this.
Very serious allegations.
All aboard the toxic gossip train. You're chugging down the tracks of misinformation. The toxic gossip train. You got a one-way ticket to manipulation station.
Nah, she's giving us a one-way ticket to defecation station.
Are we watching gaslighting via music? This, folks, is what actual gaslighting is, and this is also the creativity of the narcissist at work here. Well done, Colleen, for showing us the insights to your psyche. Thank you.
Because this is some shit here. I don't know how she thought this was a good idea at all. She doesn't even disprove any of the
because
allegations.
she has the same public relations team as somebody else, and all they do is go, it's just the haters. It's just the haters.
She just calls it the toxic gossip train, like it's some kind of little musical number out of Magic School Bus or something that she's not taking seriously. In the face of very serious claims, she decides to put on the entire clown outfit and grab her trusty ukulele and go to battle. But it's not really a battle because she doesn't even really tackle any of the claims. She doesn't refute anything or defend herself.
She's just singing.
She just makes a song.
Toxic gossip train, tie me to the tracks and harass me for my past. Cause rumors look like facts. If you don't mind the gaps, I won't survive in the crash. But hey, at least you're having fun.
I'm sorry to keep pausing this so
Wow.
frequently. I just have so much to say. And trust me, I'm really doing you a favor with all of these breaks here to give you a brief, like, respite from the fucking unbelievable
Yes. This is what it looks like when somebody decides that they're going to film their on the cross moment instead of get off the cross and fix their shit.
cringe. Like, this is some pure, undiluted, unhinged delusion here. This is so strong, I feel like it needs to be added to the periodic table. Like, the element of delusion that she is displaying here.
Delusion and
like, this song is
delusionium.
fucking haunted, honestly. This is like that track out of Courage the Cowardly Dog with Velvet Vic, where like sucks you into the record player. That's this song, but it sucks you into a group chat where she's like asking about your first period and asking for ass pics or something.
Let's not call that music,
here
please.
is because this is something she falls back on a lot in the song, and I don't want to just keep playing too much of the song. She seems to think that a lot of people are taking pleasure in watching all of this and says like, oh, it's all untrue, but you're just doing it because it's entertaining and you're having fun.
Equals the
I've never fully understood that perspective because I
Ukulele
imagine most people
equals
don't
hanging
have
a
fun
fence.
learning that people they grew up watching or people they were at least aware of being a big influence turned out to be absolute fucking scumbags. Groomers, predators, all these horrible things. Like, no one has fun with accusations like that, I don't think. Certainly not the victims of it. The victims of Miranda Sings, Colleen Ballinger here, definitely aren't having any fun here. This has been mentally damaging shit that they've carried for a long time. Now, I do think there is an argument to be made about, like, YouTuber apologies as entertainment. I made a whole fucking tier list on it. There is an element of fun to watching a completely disconnected from reality weirdo do something like Miranda Sings has done with this fucking singing apology. It's hard not to point and laugh at the absolute insanity of that situation.
He is right. Like, you can't help but you can't not giggle. But at the same time, you're like, dude, you're accused of grooming children. And you're singing about it?
But in those cases, no one's laughing about the actual allegations. Nobody wants someone in a position of power like Miranda Sings, Colleen Ballinger, to turn out to be a groomer or a predator.
Hi everyone. I've been wanting to come online and talk to you about a few things. Even though my team has strongly advised me to not say what I want to say, I recently realized that they never said that I couldn't sing what I want to say. So.
Oh my god. Really?
Holy shit, she's done it. She's activating 100% of her brain. What an incredible loophole. Checkmate, lawyers. Her legal team must have been there like, no! She got us. How did we not think of that? We never said she couldn't sing it. Damn. She's good.
Foiled again by singing. The bane of the legal profession.
Many years ago, I used to message my fans, but not in a creepy way like a lot of you are trying to suggest. It was more of a loser kind of way.
I thought you were gonna sing. Are we doing spoken word now?
I was just trying to be besties with everybody. There were times in the DMs when I would overshare details of my life, which was really weird of me. I haven't done that for years, you see, because I changed my behavior and I took accountability.
Did you? Are you sure? Because this doesn't look like accountability. This looks like a lot of personality disorders wrapped up into one little song.
Let's go on the toxic gossip train.
If you have anything to refute the claims, why don't you present it instead of doing your little talent show ukulele act? She's saying that this video, in the beginning of the song, she's saying that she's only going to be talking about the facts. And then provides nothing. The facts must have been out of town during the filming of this because she does not present them at all. She doesn't provide anything to refute any of the claims. All she does is say, like, no, that's all wrong. Those aren't the facts. You guys are falling for the toxic gossip train. Misinformation super duper station. Whatever.
That was better than her version, Charlie. You should do it.
Like, she doesn't actually provide any evidence, any counterpoints, nothing. All she does is just say that it's a lie. That's it. And I guess you're just supposed to take her at her word because she's singing it? Like,
yes,
it doesn't make any sense.
Singing
this is just invalidating to all of her victims. Like, she is like actually like laughing in their face with this video, I feel. It's pretty disgusting, actually. I don't understand how she thought this could possibly be perceived in any meaningful, positive way. Because again, she doesn't defend herself.
She's narcissistic.
She doesn't refute any of the claims of all of like the grooming accusations. If she thinks that all of this is overblown or incorrect, why wouldn't she come forward with her evidence to support that and say like, nope, this is where all of this is wrong. This is where it's false. This is where you've been lied to and manipulated. She doesn't do that.
Because
all
she
has
doesn't
here
have any of
is
that.
this dumb little fucking song. I just can't even wrap my head around the thought process.
In all seriousness, I do think it's really important to hold people accountable for their mistakes. We should hope that everyone can learn from their mistakes and grow and change their behavior and be a better person. And this is something that I've always tried to do when I make mistakes, and it's something that I will continue to try to do. What? Oh, you don't care? Oh, okay. I thought you wanted me to take accountability, but that's not the point of your mob mentality, is it? No. Your goal is to ruin the life of the person you despise while you dramatize your lies and monetize their demise.
Oh my god. Wow. Wow.
Person you despise while you dramatize your lies and monetize their demise.
Dramatize your life. Are you saying that they're being over dramatic because you're being called out for grooming?
Once again, this is just like shitting on the victims that have come forward. There are tons and tons of messages as well as videos, like just an overwhelming amount of evidence that's all pretty damning on Colleen Ballinger's behavior from these group chats, as well as just a lot of other things over the years. And in the song, she just reduces that to, it was just a weird loser sending cringe. It was just a goofball doing loser weird stuff. And then still has the audacity to sing about how she's taking accountability? What the fuck? That's the opposite of accountability. You're minimizing, downplaying the very real harm you caused to your underage fans through these group chats, these interactions, and all the shit that you said and sent. That's not taking accountability.
No.
You are literally doing the exact opposite by saying, like, it's really not that big of a deal. It's just kind of weird, that's all.
And you guys are so dramatic. Oh my god.
And then she goes in to just say about, like, this is just directly shitting on the victims. She goes then into the next part saying that the reason there's a mob mentality is because they're coming forward with all of these lies to monetize her demise because they don't like her. Well, Colleen Ballinger, let's supersize the McDonald's fries here. You're fucking insane. What are you talking about? How could you even, like, actually put this out there? I don't know how she could not only write this song, perform this song, and this is definitely not her first take, so go through this song multiple times, edit it, and then post this without realizing just how... I don't even know the right word. It's like almost downright evil.
Could you imagine being her legal team? And seeing this video, because if I was her legal team, I would be like, Miss Ballinger, I'm writing you a check for any of your unused retainer fee. We are severing ties with you. We do not want to be your lawyers. We're not putting up with you. You go find somebody else.
She comes across. Because, again, this is like spitting in the face of all the victims that have come forward with a ton of evidence against her. Saying it's not a big deal, they're wrong, they're just doing it for clout. It's so sickening.
Yeah. I feel like I can already hear the comments on this video. She's gaslighting, manipulating. Oh, she's a narcissist and a rat.
Yeah, you are.
I would never make a mistake like that. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that all of you are perfect, so please criticize me. Bring out the daggers made from your perfect past and stab me repeatedly in my bony little back.
This is gonna come as a surprise. This is gonna be shocking.
Wow.
But yeah, most people aren't making mistakes like this.
No. There's making mistakes, and then there's choosing to send like stuff like this to minors.
Isn't one of those like whoops-a-daisy mistakes that everyone makes in their life. Most normal people are going to go through their life without ever doing anything close to what you're accused of doing.
Yeah.
Talking sexually with minors in a group chat, sending used underwear to kids.
Ew!
The list goes on and on. And she
What
beats
the
this
fuck?
point home about like how she's just made like a little mistake here and it doesn't make her a bad person. But this is, again, one of those mistakes that like actually does make you a bad person.
Very.
This isn't like a little mistake. Like, she makes it sound like, oh, you don't have the right to criticize me.
Oops, I forgot to pick up milk from the store, and also I groomed a bunch of kids. Whoopsie!
Because you're not perfect, your past isn't perfect. But most people's past isn't exactly one that's plagued by degeneracy like this.
No!
So, no one's perfect, of course, but that doesn't mean that people don't have the right to criticize you for just how ridiculously awful the shit that you are accused of doing is. And also how terrible this response is.
I'm sure you're disappointed in my shitty little song. I know you wanted me to say that I was 100% in the wrong. Well,
but you are.
I'm sorry. I'm not gonna take that route of admitting to lies and rumors that you made up for clout.
Once again, just hawking a big fat loogie in the face of every victim that came forward here. If these are all lies and just rumors, why don't you prove your side of it? Why don't you provide any evidence beyond just a song?
Also, could you imagine a rapist getting up in court and going, Your Honor, I have a musical number I'd like to sing. And then singing something like that about their rape victims. What the fuck?
That says things without showing things or proving things. There is nothing presented here that refutes a single claim at all. She's just singing things. And that's it. That's not evidence. The video and song goes on for like another 4 or 5 minutes, but she just keeps saying the same thing about how it's all lies and manipulation, but she doesn't prove any of that. Why wouldn't you want to like actually clear your name? I don't know what she thought this song would do. It doesn't offer any kind of explanation for anything to clear up what she's calling lies and rumors. It's nothing. There is mountains of like actual messages and videos of her engaging in very, very bad behavior, very awful things, which has led to people labeling her things like a groomer and a predator, which she really doesn't like. But that's what all of these documents lead towards, point towards. And she does nothing to refute any of it.
Twitch thinks
except
I'm
make
in
this
fucking
absolutely
Tijuana.
Embarrassing song.
What the hell?
It's baffling. I couldn't believe this shit today. So yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna play the rest of the video because she just keeps saying it's all lies, it's just rumors, it's ridiculous. I can't believe you guys fell for it. But doesn't provide any kind of actual counterpoints or evidence or anything, so it's fucking useless. This is, I do think, the new worst YouTuber apology video. And that's not an easy feat to have accomplished.
No,
so that's
well done, Colleen. I guess. I guess yay you for your insane apology. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4 more videos. What time is it? 12:01. Okay. Let's, Yeah, we're gonna do a quick 2-minute ad break. So I'm going to pop over to the Twitch thingy, run an ad break. Oops. There we go. Come on. There we go. There we go. Okay. Let's run an ad break. And I'll be right back. Ah! There we go. Run 3-minute ad break. Oh, I can't run an ad break.
Well, we just had one. At 56. So, just do a break. Just do a be right back stream. That's it.
Okay, I'll just set up the be right... yeah.
Be right back.
I shall be right back. Let me mute the mic, and I'll be right back. And we're back. So, now we are going to find out what really happened to Heath Ledger. Oh, this might be sad. This might be very sad. Let's see. Come on, Chrome. Respond. It says Chrome is not responding. Chrome is not responding. There we go. Oh, come on.
Now,
I can't.
The latest developments in the death of a movie star, Heath Ledger. This morning, New York City police say there's no obvious indication the actor tried to kill himself.
In an interview with Sarah Lyle, published in the New York Times on November 4th, 2007, Heath Ledger stated that he often could not sleep when taking on roles. But there was one character, one particular role, that caused him such incredible insomnia. His last one, the Joker. But did Heath's brilliant portrayal of the psychotic clown break his own mind and lead to the tragic loss of such a talented actor, or was it something else entirely?
Interesting. I really liked Heath Ledger. He was great. Not just
Though
in
the
Dark
post-mortem
Knight.
report concluded that Heath Ledger died due to an overdose, many of his fans believe otherwise. A dark conspiracy theory. But let's explore what really happened.
I thought my jokes were bad.
Heath Ledger played the Joker in Christopher Nolan's 2008 film, The Dark Knight, which sadly released nearly 6 months after his death. I'm sure someone as absorbed and serious about acting would have loved to see the fan reaction to such a timeless and perfect portrayal. Such as his. But how did he manage to embody the character so perfectly? Before the shooting of The Dark Knight, Heath locked himself in a hotel room and didn't come out for over 4 whole weeks. The actor later explained those weeks were his processing time to get into the character.
What?
He spent hours each day mimicking voices, talking to himself as if several people were present, hours each day trying to perfect the laugh of a man who had lost not only his mind, but his empathy and humanity. And where would this take him? What depths would he have to go in order to perfect it all? To capture the heights of madness, What did he find in that hotel room? Luckily,
that's a very interesting question, because how do you explore madness without unlocking some of your own madness?
to capture the heights of madness, what did he find in that hotel room? Luckily, we have some insight into what he found in himself, isolated for a month. Heath maintained a diary during that phase of his life, a diary full of dark, gritty images, noted with his expressions. The cover page is an elephant touching the hand of a little boy using its trunk. Is there significance to the imagery? Some fans seem to think so. They claim that it's Heath's attempt to reach out and touch his inner demons. Or, maybe he just liked elephants. But don't be fooled by such a pleasant cover. Inside the diary is a little bit of a different story. On one page, it has an image of a terrifying smiling clown, the inspiration, of course, for Heath's movie look. Many of the pages are covered in handwritten lines from the movie script, but also cutouts and quotes from the numerous comic books he read in order to try and understand the character as well as he could.
So he was literally going in, just reading the script, reading comic books. He was trying to become the Joker.
He also covered pages with pictures
and that is so hard, because there are so many iterations of Joker. So how do you learn about the Joker and make him your own? Because that is a trademark of the Joker, is that everybody who has played him differently. And it's worked, because the Joker is such a chaotic force that he can be all sorts of different evil. It works that way. So how do you study those iterations but still make him your own?
Of other psychopaths portrayed in movies, such as Alex from Stanley Kubrick's Clockwork Orange.
Okay.
He described in detail the traits of a psychopath, the traits he needed to convey to the audience in order to achieve the authenticity he owed to the role. He wasn't trying to just play the Joker. More than that, he wanted to understand the mind of the Joker. Having a conscience, none at all. No feelings of guilt or remorse no matter what you do. No limiting sense of concern for the well-being of strangers, friends, or even family members. Imagine no struggles with shame, not a single one in your whole life, no matter what kind of selfish, lazy, harmful, or immoral actions you had taken.
That's almost, I think part of the draw of the Joker is that freedom, because while a lot of us pride ourselves on being a good person and doing the right thing, we've all had thoughts every once in a while of, it would be so much easier if I just didn't fucking care. If I just didn't care about anything, it would be so much easier. If I could just not have any sort of, if I could just not have to worry about anything like that. It's freeing. And that's the draw of the Joker, is his psychopathy is almost freedom. It's weird.
Pretend the concept of responsibility is unknown to you, except as a burden others seem to accept without question, like gullible fools. The diary is not just dedicated to his craft or to the understanding of the character, but is filled with small notes shedding light on what he was going through during the process. The physical toll it was taking on his body, the mental toll it was taking on his mind. But he managed to make it through the filming process despite the hardships. He went home to his family for Christmas, he laughed with them, he enthusiastically recounted the process, he spoke like the Joker, maniacally laughing, proud of his work. In an interview after the film had finished being recorded, he described some of the hardships in detail. Insomnia wasn't anything new. He used to smoke 5 joints a day for 20 years, and sleeping pills like Ambien were so commonplace that his tolerance outweighed the normal dosage.
Yeah, sleeping pills just don't never worked for me. Like, I would take them, they would work for a couple of nights, and then they just wouldn't work. And in the morning, when they, like, for the first couple of nights when they did work, I felt awful. I felt like a zombie.
But the Dark Night was different. Last week, I probably slept an average of 2 hours a night. Couldn't stop thinking, my body was exhausted, and my mind was still going, he said in the interview. He also claimed to take 2 Ambien, but was still unable to sleep for longer than an hour, joking about his resistance to the pills. As the diary is turned to the back page, there's an unsettling sight, one that sparked theory that what happened was in fact not an accident. The words "bye-bye" scribbled over top of what previously occupied the page, as if hastily written, leading fans to believe his death may have been intentional. An alternative, a more commonly accepted narrative, is that he kept the diary during production of the movie, and once it was over, he said bye to the diary and to the reader, closing the chapter on that part of his life, never to return to the depths of the mind, where he found whatever it was that gave us his version of the Joker. So now we have some questions to ask and hopefully answer. Did Heath Ledger actually go crazy in that hotel room? And that's why his portrayal of the Joker was as impeccable as we'll likely ever see. While
honestly, I think
isn't
so.
Possible to know. According to Heath's family members, they say no. The night before he was found in the hotel room unresponsive, he spoke on the phone to his sister. She says they laughed and joked like always, that he was his same happy self, that he promised to call her at 8:30 a.m. the next morning, a phone call he was unfortunately unable to make.
So they had
and I'm
a
sure his
plan
sister knows him better than me, than you, than
Yeah.
journalists or conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
But I do know depression in my own life. And I also know that smiling to family, to friends, to strangers alike, while battling your own demons, is commonplace. It's
Yes. Yes. You can absolutely make plans to do something with somebody, and you'll just make an excuse not to be there, or make that call, or something.
It's easier to just pretend everything's fine,
Yep.
but struggle to function when left alone with your thoughts.
Yep.
Many people will say when a person passes away that they were happy and they didn't know anything was going on. And
That's how you... That I always say, people who always go, I'm gonna kill myself. The people that vocalize that all the time are not the ones that are gonna do it. They're not. The ones that actually do it don't talk about it. They just don't. They're just gone. And then like you find a letter or something, but they're just gone.
And we have to remember that speaking out about mental health issues was not as prevalent back in 2008 as they are now, which is coming along, but still not as commonplace as they should be. Heath seemed open to talking about his struggles with sleep, but he didn't speak of a deep sadness that one of his roommates spoke of shortly after his passing. He described Heath as, quote, desperately unhappy, desperately sad. He paced his apartment all hours of the night, unable to sleep. He missed his family. He missed his daughter. Combine depression and insomnia with an addiction to sleeping pills, and we get closer to the end of it all.
Depression and insomnia are not fun when they're together. I know that firsthand.
You see, Heath didn't descend into the pits of partying like many other celebrities and waste his life in that way. He wasn't addicted to party drugs or looking to have a fantastic time escaping from reality.
No.
He simply wanted to sleep, to rest, something that had evaded him for his entire life. Something that grew worse during the...
so sad. That is so sad. Because I know that feeling of just wanting to sleep. That's really sad.
The time in that hotel room, a situation of his own creation, but why did he do it this way? Method acting is a technique of acting in which an actor aspires to complete emotional identification with a part, to use their physical, mental, and emotional self in the creation of a character.
Why method actors
Did
are so
Heath's
good.
method acting lead to his death? Did becoming the Joker end his life? One theory is that it pushed him to the brink. He stared into the abyss, and the abyss stared into him, causing him to leave this world before his time. That is considered legend. Heath was happy, and he would clearly never do that. The Dark Knight did not cause Heath to die, according to many. But in context, there are things impossible to ignore. While correlation does not imply causation, and the narrative that this was his intention is unproven, there is another explanation, and it does pin his role as the core factor. In multiple studies published academically across the globe, the symptoms of isolation are uniform. Adverse health consequences range from sleeplessness, high anxiety, depression, and suicide rates.
That is true. I think there was a show where they did this, like, I think it's like Locked Up for 24 hours or something, where people volunteer to go into, oh no, it's like Could I Survive Solitary Confinement or something like that, and these people volunteer to be put into isolation for, I can't remember if it's 2 or 3 days, and they're there's cameras and stuff for the doctors and psychologists to monitor, but they have no books, they have no paper, like it's just a bed, a toilet, a sink, and you know whatever, and they have to survive in isolation, and it's to study how the mind can handle it.
Heath Ledger died from an overdose of sleeping tablets he took because of his 20-plus year battle with insomnia.
Yeah.
Insomnia that, according to his own words, got worse while playing the Joker. Heath's decision to lock himself inside a hotel with nothing but his own thoughts dedicated to understanding the inner workings of a psychopath, enough to flawlessly imitate one, caused everything to get worse. Yeah. Everything he was already dealing with was compounded. He slept less and less, functioned worse and worse, took more and more pills that eventually killed him. Mm-hmm. Likely an accident, but almost impossible to claim would be unrelated to his role as the Joker, considering the position he put himself in that hotel room. But what do the conspiracy theorists think? Heath once mentioned how he developed the habit of meditation to get control over his mind. With time, his meditation skills upgraded, and he unknowingly started to do astral projection, or better known as an out-of-body experience.
Okay.
He believed he could separate his mind and go to places while remaining completely still in the physical world. A phenomenon that has been widely reported, and according to some researchers, occur to 1 in every 10 people, though usually not at will, as Heath was describing.
Yeah, no, it's... I have heard of this phenomena. I know...
This is seen as a form of disassociation. But according to some, Heath Ledger practiced astral projection to the stage of mastery. They claim he left his body and decided not to come back, though the reality is much less fantastical. Heath struggled his whole life with insomnia, and he put himself in the worst possible situation, which led to a tragedy.
Yeah.
Whether or not the tragedy was on purpose or a complete accident matters not. The truth can never be known, as the thoughts before those pills were taken vanished, along with one of the most talented actors of our generation.
Yeah,
Heath was
really
desperate to sleep, so much so that he never again woke. At least now he finds the rest that was denied to him in life, though that will be of little solace to those he left behind, to loving family, friends, and adoring fans. Whatever it was that caused him to be gone too soon, hopefully at least he found his peace.
I guess for the first time I feel like I am a part of life. It feels like you commit to life. It feels there's something cosmic about it. Like you feel more connected to the universe as opposed to before, when you just feel like you're floating around as a ghost. And I feel like now I'm participating in life.
That's such a sad quote, because that was very close to that was very much close to the end of his death, I think. Let's do... Ooh! Illuminati lose sponsors and collaborations. Oh my. Oh my. Let's see what Omegon has to say.
A comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, isn't this fantastic?
Well, isn't this just fantastic? Years ago, I vaguely remember a number of YouTube creators that had incurred the ire of the court of public opinion, having live streams dedicated to them, so that while their subscriber count went down, people would try and see how close they could be or get to losing their play button. Some were fairly close to the silver one, and they did in fact lose enough to be under the 100,000, which led to many people saying, you should give back your silver play button. Spoiler, they did not. Because they earned it, everyone. Rarely have I seen someone lose 170,000 subscribers in a month to continue to hemorrhage in the following month, to a degree where I would believe it is possible they could get closer to losing their gold play button by the end of the year, but it's more than likely not going to happen in favour of people just no longer watching their content. In this, of course, we are talking about Illuminati, who in May lost 170,000 subscribers and this month has lost close to 90. The month isn't over yet, so 100,000 is still possible, and based on the frequency of losing 10,000 subs, also highly likely. It is unlikely to stop anytime soon. Viewership of pretty much all content has dwindled to a level that is essentially 10 times less to what she was getting on these essay-style videos only a few months ago. If you need context as to what's gone on to get to this point, don't worry, I'll link part 1 and part 2 down.
So, I saw her upload a video, I think it was last week, near the end of the week, and it got 4,000 views in a day. That's it. I was like, holy shit.
Down below. I highly recommend, if you need to know, you watch those first, because we're going to continue the story as if you already know. That way I don't then have to talk about how she even dug the hole in the first place to get to where she was, for the fallout to continue as more creators spoke out and she tries to cease and desist them all, to where we are now, where she is losing everything. This has been handled poorly on every single level possible by Illuminati. The buck stops at you, the creator. Your decisions are an indicator of the level of ego you have, which can...
Huge level of ego. I need a bell to ding.
Can also be argued to be a complete lack of humility. Had you simply fessed up, there was a bigger chance of you getting through this semi-unscathed, with a reputation that would have shown you had a capacity to learn, improve, and be better. But since what you have done has gone on for so many years, I don't believe you have that capacity, akin to that of Sheldon Cooper having emotional range.
Even Sheldon gained more emotional range in the later seasons. So I don't even know, because Sheldon was able to learn a little bit. Like, she's just like, nope.
So the first thing we have to talk about is an email between FPS Diesel and Cruel World Happy Mind, aka Madison, who gave greater detail in that email about what actually happened when, Illuminati did the podcast thing, dunking on Cruel World Happy Mind.
She was the smaller creator that did a video on... What was it? It was, I can't remember what it was, but it was a video that she had done, and she reached out to Blair as a fan and was like, hey, you kind of ripped off my style.
Accused of plagiarism. To an extent, plagiarism. It was very disingenuous of Illuminati, and there's no way, based on how closely resembling the videos it was, that she didn't see her video or perhaps glean information from it. So Madison said, thank you for reaching out to me personally, though I never recorded the call and it was 2 years ago. Those the ones are inaccurate. I was newly pregnant at the time. My interactions with Blair took place extremely sick from the pregnancy. So that was a huge motivator to reach a solution with Blair, so that I would have the stress of the drama making my condition worse. I forgot who offered first to do a private call. I believe Blair went on a tweeting rampage of sorts after my initial video calling her out, and was saying things I interpreted as angry things in the heat of the moment about someone she really didn't know. So I thought it would be better solved if we spoke on the phone, since oftentimes tonality can get lost in tweets or messages.
That makes sense. That's a good way to handle it.
We spoke on the phone for 2 hours or so. To be
Holy
fair, overall,
shit.
it was a good call where Blair wasn't screaming at me or calling me names. Though she went into a lot of information that wasn't really necessary on the call, and I'm not sure why. She told me about the history she had with other content creators who tried to ruin her career, according to her. Said she had 6 other businesses apart from her channel. Consider that foreshadowing.
Okay.
Told me sensitive information about her own health and past health scares. At times it felt like she was trying to mentor me on the call. Sounds like a pissing contest.
Yeah, it's honestly, it was like, here, you're pregnant and sick. Here, let me tell you about how sick
At times
I've
it felt
been.
like she wanted me to sympathise with her, and at times she made some vague, threatening statements. I remember her specifically telling me that she knew the general location of where I live based off my Instagram posts, saying she would advise me to take those posts down. And also that because a random site wrote an article about me, and this site is basically a pay-for-views site or something like that it could look like I pay for my audience and that I should send that site legal warnings to get them to take it down. Basically, she would give me advice that had a threatening tone to it. I concluded during that call that it seemed to me like Blair has a tendency to fixate on a few specific people in the commentary world and feel a lot of hate and vitriol towards those people, especially if she felt they wronged her.
So she's... This is crazy. This is like high
She kept
school level
mentioning
shit.
a few commentary creators'
is
names on the
insane.
call, telling me not to speak with them and keep my distance with them. I decided during my pregnancy I wanted to steer clear of her and her world, so I decided to come to an agreement with her during the call to stop the drama and end any and all interaction I had with her on as good of terms as possible and as quickly as possible.
It
So on
would
the call she
behoove you
said
to
in
do
order to move on
exactly
she
as
would
I
want
say.
what I
Yeah,
said about her to be
exactly,
cut from my
assassin.
video and for me and her both to post statements on our channel about reconciliation. I did that. And eventually
stop
unlisted
trying
the
to sell me
entire
Mexican
drama
internet,
video
Twitch.
altogether because I started to feel bad about the amount of attention it was getting. I didn't want my video to be the sole reason someone hates another creator. At that point, I still wanted to believe that Blair was going to grow as a person, and I was
The
hoping my
USS
forgiveness would help her
Defiant
learn
is-
to let
is
go
an
and forgive
escort
others as
cutter, yet
well.
it could do
Now,
everything.
unfortunately, it seems
I
Blair has
charge
not
it as a
changed.
Starship
The entire
equivalent
situation was
of
very
the
stressful at the
Mary
time
Sue.
since I was in a really poor condition and extremely sick from my
I think
pregnancy.
you're right.
It made me take a step back
Assassin, I
and not
think
want to
you're
reach
right.
out to other creators on YouTube as much since I was so
I am
afraid
not
of
a-
similar
I am
types
not
of
a
drama would
Defiant
start,
fangirl.
or they would try to talk about me behind my back. I think toxic people like Blair create a competitive, cutthroat environment in the commentary space on YouTube, when it doesn't need to be like that. I've
No.
talked to people like SL, I don't know who that is, Smoky Glow and Muncat, Moneycat, who have been nothing but extremely nice and supportive, and I hope one day the entire commentary community can be like that. I don't know, maybe we can all stop putting up with toxic creators in this space who cultivate a negative environment. I also think the issue of copying is
that's
sort of
never
a
gonna
bizarre issue
happen.
for commentary creators. When I first started out making videos on YouTube, I was so sensitive about my videos being copied, and looking back, I wasn't looking at things the right way. Because everyone has a right to take inspiration from other content, as long as
Yeah.
someone isn't copying content word for word or cites their sources. I think it's all part of the commentary life cycle. If creators start
that's
policing
true.
who is copying what, it could go down a straight road that limits creators' ability to be creative and draw inspiration from others. I think societally,
very
we all
good
know when
point.
copying goes too far. Someone says something word for word makes an identical thumbnail, but in the grand scheme of things, general inspiration for others does actually harm another content creator's brand, content, and
Agreed.
identity. So I think
I agree with that. I think we are getting a little bit too like, that's mine, that's mine, that's mine. Like, if somebody's copying it word for word or re-uploading it as theirs or sitting on a live stream watching your shit without talking at all or reacting or providing their own stuff, that's different. But if we're like, you know, if fair use is a thing, and we do need to
So
understand.
I think focusing on it will only
fair
tarnish the
use
commentary
and
landscape. A very
inspiration.
eloquent and polite way of articulating their perspective. Respectfully done as well. Now, I have held a very firm and consistent belief when it comes to YouTubers, sponsors, and their relationship. Do not go after the sponsors. I am aware some will want to insert, yes, but what if this creator does this? But what if this creator does that? The relationship between sponsors
Don't go
and
after-
creators is tentative at the best of times.
Yeah.
Some creators do develop an ego because they get a lot of offers. I get offers from the same crap, none of which legit. Which is
Yep, me too. Me too. I get Stream Elements shit every goddamn day.
why you never see a sponsor in my videos. Which is a shame really, because I'm broke. Serious like, yo, Gibbs. The point still stands regardless. because it can harm other creators and their relationship with sponsors. It is a form of poisoning the well, a term I've used a lot of late along with reductio ad absurdum, which oddly enough fits here as well. On Twitter, ENVTuber tweeted to Stitch Fix, "Hello Stitch Fix, it has come to my attention that you are sponsored with a YouTuber named Illuminati.
Oh my god, I know ENVTuber.
Details are in the videos and the replies, but the TLDR is that she has harassed multiple people with alt accounts, made someone homeless and made fun of his mental health." Stitch Fix replied, "Thank you for bringing this to our attention. The actions of this creator do not align with Stitch Fix values. We have stopped all advertising on their platforms. Thank you again for flagging." To add to this, we now insert ExpressVPN, who should also reach out to me. I will promote for money. Hey, I'd like to reach out about a YouTuber that abuses their employees and is in other scandals. Their name is @Illuminati. I don't think you should give a sponsor to someone that, if there's an email to reach you, I'll be happy to provide evidence and talk to their representative. Reply, I can share that while we worked briefly with this influencer earlier in the year, we are no longer working with them. Now that could be an indicator that they'd already severed ties anyway, because the working relationship had come to a mutual parting, as it were. Or perhaps they saw this early enough and decided, screw you guys, we're out. I've also been led to believe that a candle company that she and her sister ran, called Nox and Vesta, is that it? She is no longer associated with her sister running it instead. In fact, a candle the company makes is named after her dog, called Casper.
Oh yeah, those candles are fucking $70. We looked at them. They're crazy expensive.
I was unable to find any confirmation of this. It's more speculative, okay? So let's swerve and go to Oz Media on Twitter. The Illuminati sent a physical cease and desist to my dad's address as well, one I haven't lived at in 3 years, which she would know if I still lived in the house we shared. Trying to scare my dad. You're forcing my hand here, something I initially didn't want to do. Reply, as if she didn't know you already got it, considering she stalks you guys on Twitter. She seeks nothing but to paint the world red. If Blair were actually trying to get us back, this ain't how to do it. No. So the final thing we need to discuss comes courtesy of a video via CB2. A video titled Exclusive. Illuminati finally responded. Reason.
I love how whenever there's like bold words, he's like exclusive.
Why it's because on a Patreon only server, some messages are only accessible to patrons. They took one for the team, paid the $5, and got access to these messages from Blair. And I thought we'd quickly look at that now. I'll link CB2's channel down below, by the way. They have an entire playlist with a lot of videos covering all of this. CB2. I firmly believe in less is more, but my judginess can be buried for a moment in favor of gratitude that somebody got these messages. The first screenshot comes from the 17th of May. It's the 27th of June today. We're a little bit, behind. Hey, everyone. I just want to write to say thank you to everyone who's been here and hanging on. I know it has been difficult, to say the least. I'm working on things behind the scenes, but those things take time. Due to unalive threats and or those threats nearly every day at this point, anyone that does that is a dickhead and you should be off the internet. Seriously, don't do that. I'm pulling back a little bit to just not have a meltdown every day. I'm sorry for being inactive and not chatting much. I'm scared every day I wake up and every night when I go to sleep. I've left my house behind trying to hide, and I'm in contact with police officers every day and attorneys. There's a team of Prosper behind me assembling to stop this. But these things take time and they won't be able to happen if something happens to me, unfortunately. And in this day and age, well, you never know what threat is a effed sort of joke and what's real. Online, you can't convey tone without a voice. So it's in text form, you can never be certain. Shocker, I know. And I'm not really ready to make that gamble with my life. I'm spending a lot of time with electronics in airplane mode and only coming online when I need to be. Otherwise, everything is off. I'm trying what I can to stay sane through insanity. It's clear my public voice holds no weight. So I will take my voice to a level playing field with real-world consequences for the actions people have taken against me. Yes, I want to be transparent, but no one else is allowed to be, because only my voice will matter in this setting. I am scared, I feel incredibly alone and hurt, but things will get better. I will try my best to make it better for everyone. Just thank you all for being here, and thank you for seeing past manufactured drama for other people's financial gain. I hope to see my day of resolve soon.
My day of resolve? Oh my god. Okay, so she's that paranoid that she's like putting her shit in airplane mode. Yet she's like posting to, okay, sure.
The problem Illuminati has is all the evidence has been laid bare in the court of public opinion and they've made their decision. You have chosen to ignore it because you believe yourself better than it. Simply be accountable because you cannot prove yourself innocent now. I'm sorry, it's too late. You know this. And silence those who have an opinion and a voice and fact and evidence against you because you believe by taking it to a courtroom, that will solve it. The problem is the well's been, well, tarnished. It's too acidic now.
Yeah.
Your channel is done. The only chance you have is rising from a form of ashes like Death Noodles has, where he has taken the place of Tipster as respected within the commentary community, something which you no doubt think yourself.
I never thought would happen. I never thought that would happen.
Above. Another post from Blair. Hey everyone, sorry for the mass ping, but I was wondering if anyone would be interested in a low-key movie day tomorrow. Oh, you do movie nights? So do I. With top dollar patrons and watching Hannibal. It's very exciting. Now, someone had inquired about doing a video, making a statement or something. If not, don't worry. I'm a teeny channel because, you know, sometimes it helps to clear the air. Blair said, I'll pass, and I would just let the mess be. It'll be cleared up in time. Now, I do think Blair has a better chance of clearing her name in the court of public opinion if she is actually present. Rather than having all the videos that were on standby uploaded, put out a public statement and apologize. The problem with that is the point of acceptable apology time has expired. It's like a friend zone thing. I generally think anything longer than 72 hours and the apology is no way sincere.
Yeah, it's you can't do everything that you've done and then now be like, I'm really sorry. You're toast.
There is no weight of, well, meaning, really, beyond that of the insincere and solely
toast.
done as damage control. Don't forget here, the shitty behavior you only acted upon to silence those that criticized you, the people you hurt, by the way, scorned, by trying to get them out of the equation altogether. You tried to bury their heads in the sand, so you could stand tall and carry on as if nothing happened. As far as I'm concerned, that is remarkably disingenuous. And I don't believe you have anyone around you telling you what you need to hear. So try this.
Because
you
they all
need to
left.
apologize to each of those people and listen to them first. In a public setting, listening to them and understanding the problems you have put them through could well lead to a chance at a future for you on YouTube. Or you bury your head in the sand, wait a couple years and carry on and hope that people come back to
I will
you.
keep
Or
silent
you go to
about
court
Voyager
and embarrass
then.
yourself even
I do
further.
not want to
What a
get
novel
banned.
idea. Especially when you then will undoubtedly try and sue them for defamation and try and get damages out of them, which will make you look even crappier. On that same Discord server, there are some mods defending rather inappropriate behavior towards those that are young. They are fobbing it off as if people are just conspiring to bring down the server with clandestine operations. Okay, CB2 has an entire video on that. It does not paint Illuminati behavior towards those. There are some mods defending rather inappropriate behavior towards those that are young. They are fobbing it off as if people are just conspiring to bring down the server with clandestine operations. Okay, CB2 has an entire video on that. It does not paint Illuminati's Discord in a very good light. If your way of responding to an accusation that people on that server or some individuals on that server are acting inappropriate towards those that are quite young by essentially fobbing it off as trolling, things like that, while you claim you don't condone, are undermined by your essentially fingers and ears la 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 thing.
Wasn't one of her main things about the clique that he had some really gross guy in his Discord talking to minors inappropriately, and now this is happening? Is she just the queen of irony impairment? I just don't understand. I really don't. Ugh. Alright guys, I'm gonna end this here because it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. So, thank you guys for hanging out with me and watching. I will be back tomorrow night with The Last of Us. We're about to go search Bill's town for car parts. And that'll be fun, so you won't want to miss that. And I'll be back on Friday night. I'm thinking of maybe doing a movie since it's the last Friday of the month. And I'm thinking that I might do Mystery Men. So yeah, I'm contemplating that. So thank you guys for watching. Have a good night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. You know what we're gonna do before we leave, though? We're gonna raid somebody, because I need to start remembering to do that. Let's see. Who shall we raid? Let's see here. Night, night. Let's see. Who shall we raid? Raid channel. We'll go raid Moist. We'll go raid Charlie. And come on.